When I was a kid growing up and I did something stupid with my friends, my mother, my father, my grandparents, they had a little expression they would use. Monkey see, monkey do. May I now use that to introduce the governors of the United States. As I said last week, none of these governors could even make up their mind initially on what the so-called safe space was. The governor of Ohio, he was the first one out the gate with no groups bigger than 100. Well, over in New York City, they decided no groups bigger than 500. Well, the mayor of San Francisco said no groups bigger than 1,000. Well, the governor of Indiana said no groups bigger than 250. Well, the CDC fueled the governor of Illinois to say no groups bigger than 50. What? And they can't even make up their mind what the safe number is. Let me start with Governor Mike DeWine of Ohio. Most people didn't even know his name, and that includes the people in Ohio. Remember, John Kasich was the outgoing Republican governor. Ohio, a fairly conservative state that swept Donald Trump into office. And it was just kind of assumed that we needed to keep that Trump momentum going in the Midwest. So in comes DeWine, who has only proven follow the money. And in his case, also follow the incredible stupidity. Because at the end of the day, take one look at him and you know what he is. A total and complete little nerdlet. That is all he is. He is the guy that got picked on in school. He is nothing but a nerd. He is just a dweeby little twerp. And he has managed to finagle himself into the gubernatorial mansion and the gubernatorial office. And all he is proving is what a no-good he is. So he comes out and he's the first governor to close the schools. And immediately the media pounced. Aha! He's stronger on coronavirus than Donald Trump. And immediately PMSNBC and CNN had cameras in his face. And now, every time he opens his mouth, CNN comes running. They have their new Michael Avenatti. And DeWine has never had this kind of attention in his life. This is the kind of attention he wanted to have when he was just a rich prep school snot. I mean, this is what he has always craved, this attention. And so now he says these things, and 24 hours later, well, the governor of another state comes out with something else. Monkey see, monkey do. It's the reason we don't have any toilet paper in our stores. You know, you go to Walmart, Stuff Mart, the mom and pop little grocery or quick grab, there's not a roll of toilet paper to be had. Why? Because people got in there, they saw this person grabbing 10 packs, they saw this person grabbing 10 packs, they're like, oh my God, I gotta get toilet paper. Monkey see, monkey do. And that's what these governors are doing. I think somebody needs to sue the governors. Ooh. So, Governor DeWine was the first governor to say, we're going to close restaurants. They can only be open for carry-out or drive-through. But we're going to make it really easy for these people to get unemployment. These guys, number one, are tanking the economy with this stupidity. Hear what I say, and I'm an ordained pastor, and I deal with life and death every day. Yes, people will die from coronavirus. But this is not the end of the world. Let's get a grip here, people, and I'm very serious about this. What do we got? 50, 60 cases in the U.S.? 50, 60 cases, and we're putting the entire country into shock and hysteria? Are you kidding me? Seriously? So that these governors can walk around and act like they've got a never-ending hard-on even without the little blue pill, and they're this and that, and now all of a sudden they're experts on disease. No, they're morons, they're buffoons, and DeWine has been, first of all, he's been obfuscated by the liberals in Columbus. You know, the only medical people that are spouting this hogwash about how deadly and detrimental this coronavirus is are the ones on TV. The doctors and people in the medical profession that I have talked to personally and that I'm surrounded by are all shaking their head like, what is this insanity? This is insane. Monkey see, monkey do. Everybody wants their TV time, and there are those that are purposely, yes, they are trying to hurt the president from this, and I've been concerned about the president saying things like, President Trump, why are you doing this? Why are you not? And then today, I saw it. I saw his 4D chess move. See, he's in a situation that right now, he can't stop this insanity, but he is going to use it for the Democrats, the Never-Trumpers, the rhinos to hang themselves. Well, you got Mitt Romney out there now wanting universal basic income. Every American ought to get $1,000 a month during the corona crisis. Really? And who's paying for that, Mitt? Because we're going to have half the country out of work here pretty shortly. But the president today said, I'm giving you guys 2 weeks to get a handle on this. Now, that's code. That's big time code. First of all, the president knows you've taken everything away from people. You've taken sports away. You're shutting down the movie theaters. You're shutting down all the diversion, which means people are just sitting home and they're watching this and they're going to go bat crap crazy, depressed. And in about 2 weeks, they're going to grab their pitchforks and their torches and they're going to start storming the gates, demanding you start opening things. The president knows that. He also knows that even the spiral with the stock market right now, it's going to come back. This is not a replay of the Depression. Turn off that idiot Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is a moron, a high school dropout, and a buffoon. And a liar. He's a con artist. He's a guy that has figured out how to spin a narrative to the conservative audience to make money. That is all Glenn Beck is about. His so-called sponsors, you ever listen to them? They're all his companies. And who sponsors him? Oh, end of the world, freeze-dried food. Gee, just the kind of thing you need in a coronavirus outbreak. Invest in gold, Bitcoin, all this stuff about, if you have a catastrophic crisis event, turmoil, you need to be prepared. These are all the sponsors of Glenn's show. Does the content of his show reflect the needs of his sponsors? Don't listen to Glenn Beck. And Fox News during the day, faux pas news, is just another extension of the fake lying narrative of the media. You'll get some truth out of Tucker. You'll get some truth out of Hannity, especially some of the guests they have on, like Dan Bongino, who said, follow the money. You know that little spending bill that Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats put together that probably Mike DeWine and some of the other governors were in on? It's a guaranteed 10% increase of federal funding to every state. And even more once the president declared national emergency to states that have real emergencies, i.e. Ohio, cooking the books. And they are. They're lying and they're cooking the books. And it's not about the safety of people. It's about money. And the worse the economy does, the more money they're going to get from Washington. So yes, Governor DeWine and Cuomo and the rest of them, they are guilty of defrauding the government, defrauding the American people, trying to create a recession. Twofold reason. One, to hurt Donald Trump. Second, to benefit themselves. Show me the money. Show me the money. By tanking the economy, cutting 50% of the workforce. The governor of Ohio is now saying, we may keep the schools closed rest of the year. Oh, and I'm going to close the daycare centers too. So where are all these kids supposed to go? The streets? No. They're going to be watched by grandma and grandpa. Aren't those the people we're supposed to be protecting? Isn't that the age group that needs sheltering? Because if they get it, they're going to die. We have created this contagion hysteria. oh, in Ohio, 40% of the population could get coronavirus. Okay. How many had the flu this year? How many had pneumonia this year? And don't give me this crap about that, well, there's a second strand of this. Oh, shut up. You liars. Absolute liars. The CDC, the World Health Organizations, they have to every once in a while scare the daylights out of everybody to prove their value. And you need to keep giving us tax dollars. We're important. You need to keep us around. That's the political side of all this. And again, the president in a 4D chess move knows what's going to happen here. And about early summer, he's going to declare an end to all of this hogwash and nonsense. And you're going to watch that economy come roaring back. And listen. This is going to guarantee his reelection. See, he was going into the reelection cycle with a really strong economy, but there was so much visceral hatred being created by the media that it was going to become a reality that Alzheimer's, drooling on himself, Joe Biden could actually steal the election. But the economy and the Democrats were hoping it's going to tank. But let me show you how God's got Trump's back. It is tanking. It is headed for recession. And in a couple of weeks, the president's going to start enacting some things. That's why he said you got 15 days. He's going to start doing some things, and this economy is going to start turning around, rebounding. People are going to demand that their movie theaters be reopened, that their restaurants be reopened. The people are going to be in an uproar. And when that economy starts rocking and rolling and roaring back, who is going to get the credit for saving the economy again? Donald J. Trump. By the way, the economy was going so good. If the Democrats had left this coronavirus alone and not hyped it, the Dow was due for its own natural readjustment anyway. That probably would have happened about September. Not a good time. Not a good time. Because that would have been right on the heels of election time. Triggering a recession then would have been the end of Trump. Having it now, and Trump fixing it all throughout the summer, takes us into the fall with a rockin', rollin' economy and his reelection. Boom, baby boom, baby boom, baby boom. But I do want to say a word about these lying governors like Mike DeWine and Cuomo. I'm talking about you, the people, you, the residents of those places. Start suing the governors, not the government, not the state. Start suing them personally, especially if their half-wit decisions are costing you your job. What about these workers in these restaurants that are all closed? Well, they're going to get unemployment. Really? Because they already get paid less than minimum wage because they get tips. And since minimum wage is based on since unemployment is based on a percentage of their pay, which in this case would be less than minimum wage, these people are going to get about 8 cents on the dollar in an unemployment check. But see, once the president declared state of emergency, and with Nancy Pelosi's pork belly little spending bill, there's all this money for the states now. If the money went away, you watch how fast these governors would lift their states of emergency locally and tell everybody, get back to work. We need your tax money. Put those little brats back in school. This isn't about the people. This isn't about protecting anyone. This is about some governors and money. And that's tragic. And that's tragic. And what they have done is they have created this hype and hysteria, this fear and this frenzy. There are old people hunkered down in their homes, scared to death that if they stick their head outside, they're going to drop dead. And I think these governors should be sued personally, especially by people who have been hurt by their piss-poor decision-making. And no, I'm not going to change that phrase because you're a pastor. You're supposed to talk like that. There's something else happening, too. There's a spiritual aspect to this. I'm not going to get too crazy with this. I'm not going to say too much here. But there really is end-time prophecy unfolding before our eyes. And the Bible does say that in the end time, the people will be given over to a strong delusion. And I'm not saying we're at the end times. But 2 weeks ago, people were kind of keeping an eye on coronavirus, but not really. And in 2 weeks, it's tanked our economy and put us under a near nationwide quarantine. And there's 60 people dead. And how many thousands have died already this year from other sicknesses, diseases, and illnesses? And this is the one that we're in meltdown over. And it's statistically proven that 99% of the people who get it recover. Yes, even your beloved Tom Hanks is going to recover. Unbelievable. The hysteria, the madness created by the governors. They should be ashamed and they should be run out of office. And I don't care whether they're Democrat or Republican, if they are feeding this frenzy. Because you got some states like West Virginia, they have no cases. This is what they are doing to the American people is unconscionable. And of course, the media loves to hype the fact that DeWine is at odds with the president. And this little nerdlet has never had this kind of attention. He's loving it. So every day he dreams up something newer and dumber to inflict on the people of Ohio. There are liberal governors not inflicting their people the way this dimwit is. Enough already. Enough already. Start sending emails to your governor. Start calling their switchboards. Demand this insanity end. Hashtag stop the coronavirus insanity. Just as we were putting the finishing touches on this monologue and getting it ready to upload, a judge has stepped in and told Governor Mike DeWine, who had announced today that he was canceling the Tuesday primaries, wrong. Yes, you're going to hold those primaries. You don't get to overrule and override the Constitution. Boom, baby, boom. It's about time somebody started putting these governors, all we've ever heard out of the lying left legacy media and the Democrats is that Donald Trump is a dictator. He's not a dictator, but some of these governors, like Mike DeWine, they're acting like dictators. Do they actually have the right to take over and close private businesses, to start saying you can and can't have people inside, they can only be outside? Do they really have that kind of authority? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I think there needs to start being some lawsuits filed immediately. There needs to be pushback. Remind Mike DeWine in Ohio, he is still the same nerd that he was as a kid, only now he can't just hide behind the governor's bars and the governor's office. He really is still a little nerd, a little dweeb, and he needs to be treated like the outlaw would-be wannabe little rodent dictator that he is. Hey, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. Spread this video because you're hearing stuff here nobody else has the guts to say. That said, make sure you're a subscriber. Make sure you have clicked, or I should say smack the bell, and click the word all so that you get notification of my next rant.